Hi! Hello, BookTube. It's been a minute. I'm going to spend no time telling you what I've been up to for the past couple months since I haven't been posting. Suffice it to say that I haven't done a lot of reading, and now I have been overwhelmed by schoolwork and teaching work now that the school year has started. I have been so stressed and overworked for the past month that I just was dying to sit down with a good book that I could immerse myself in, and so I have done just that. I dipped into Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and this was the absolutely perfect novel to get myself out of a reading slump. Since it is fall season, Halloween and Thanksgiving are just around the corner, I was really craving just like a thriller, mystery, horror, something fall, something autumnal, and this book just like really hit all of those buttons for me. I am almost done this book. So I'm going to talk about this first, and then I'm going to go into the other books that I'm planning on reading in the next month or two, which are all kind of spooky, scary, fantasy, sci-fi vibes. And then I'm going to talk about two books that are more school-related, because it is also that season, back to school. This book is actually about a university professor in physics, and it opens in fall season, so it's absolutely perfect. It's extremely thrilling. It's a massive page turner. Every time I had to put it down, I was so upset and I just wanted to get back to this book. I'm going to finish it today, almost definitely. I only have a couple pages left, and this is only my third day of reading it, and I do not usually read books that fast. It is a sci-fi. Because this is kind of a suspenseful thriller, I don't want to say too much to give anything away, but one night this professor is walking home from the bar when somebody comes up behind him with a gun and forces him to strip all of his clothes and take a drug and lie down, and he goes unconscious, and then so many other conflicts and plots ensue. I can say I thought that this book was like completely predictable and I knew exactly what was going to happen, and the twist actually surprised me. It probably shouldn't have, and it probably won't surprise you, but for me, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much bigger than I thought. So, highly recommend so far Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. The next spooky book I'm going to read this season is The Library at Mount Char. This, I believe, is a fantasy. I kind of don't know anything about it, and you can't really get much concrete information about it. I think that it's just too weird to summarize in a snappy way. I think this is probably a book that has to be experienced, so I'm not going to dig too hard to find out what it's about. I'm just going to dive right in, and I'm not going to try to give you a synopsis as someone who has not read the book, because even people that have read the book have trouble giving a synopsis for it. But I'm very excited to read that. I'm reading that alongside my mom, who also picked it up from the library, and I think this is definitely going to be a good one to have read with someone else, so you can try to disentangle it together. The next spooky fiction that I have this season is one that is my most highly anticipated book of this little series. I've been looking forward to reading this book for over a year now, ever since I saw people on BookTube recommending it, and people seem to say that they don't want to spoil anything about the book, but it's one that they believe should be way more widely read than it is, and everyone should read it regardless of whether it's their type of book or not, so I don't know, but I'm very excited. It is Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko. This is originally in Russian, translated to English. If I really like this book, I might try to pick up the Russian copy as well, because I am still trying to learn Russian. This has been compared to Harry Potter, I think because there is a magic school in it, but other than that, it really doesn't sound like it has any ties to Harry Potter. Again, I don't know a whole lot about the plot, and I don't want to know a whole lot going in, but there is a girl who is given these mysterious gold coins by this mysterious man, and when she's collected enough of these gold coins, she starts at this institute where they teach, I assume, magical phenomena, but it sounds like the magic is not the typical fantasy magic that you would find in a book about a magical school. On the inside cover, it says that it's a brilliant dark fantasy combining psychological suspense, enchantment, and terror that makes us consider human existence in a fresh and provocative way. All you have to say to make me want to read it is psychological suspense, but everything else about this book makes me want to read it as well, including the front cover, which is absolutely gorgeous. I picked this up from the library, but I honestly think if I love it enough, I'm going to purchase a copy. So that's it for the fiction that I am planning to read this fall. Only 3 books. I think that's all I can really handle. But there are 2 nonfiction that I wanted to mention as well, both of which I have started, but I'm not very far through. The first one is all over productivity tube. Like, every YouTuber that talks about productivity has talked about this book at some point, so I'm sure that I will make a video dedicated to this book at some point, and that is Deep Work by Cal Newport. Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. I've also been listening to Cal Newport's podcast, which is pretty good. Deep work, if you're not familiar with it, is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. And that is exactly the kind of work that you have to do in academia. I'm in my 5th year now of my PhD, so I really need to get going on some deep work, and I'm hoping Cal Newport can give me some tools for accomplishing that really cognitively demanding work that has to go into writing my dissertation. And the final book that I'm going to talk about in this video is called Powers of Two: Finding the Essence of Innovation in Creative Pairs. This is by Joshua Wolf Schenk, and I found this at a garage sale randomly. It was like 25 cents. I'm actually working in a couple different creative pairs right now, working with other people on written projects or conference presentations, and I'm really interested in the work of collaboration, and I'm really inspired by research collaborations especially. My favorite nonfiction book of all time actually is The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, which is about a research pair, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics for their work. So I'm just really interested specifically in how partnerships work, especially in the research space, and I'm very excited to continue reading this. I'm already enjoying it. So, those are all of the books that I have for you today. Now I am going to go finish up Dark Matter. I'm very excited. I just can't wait to find out what happens. So I will see you in another video soon. I have a couple planned for the end of this year, so have no fear. I will be back. See you next time.